gosh, I've been looking forward to these every single Thursday. I'm Jenny Anchondo, and I am just here as your moderator for these events, which have been just really big business focused, really beautifully enhancing. And I know that so many of you have learned so much. I have as well. Let me tell you a little bit about Maria Santi. She is the Director of Minority Outreach for the Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce. She is the bilingual minority outreach director for the chamber. So what she does is she plans and promotes the development of business skills in professionals and entrepreneurs, all in a specific framework of respect for diversity through programs, workshops, and special events. Now, she has quite the educational background as well. You guys educated both in Mexico and the United States. She's actually an attorney in Mexico. She just recently took the bar here in the US. She has her master's here. And her passion really, it's multifold, but she has a passion for building bridges between different business communities. She works on negotiations, she works on partnerships, she works to develop new strategies. And then specifically in the Dallas-Fort Worth community, she specializes in assisting the Latino community in those areas. And she has many different programs that she presents, one of them being negotiation and communication. And then we're kind of honing in specifically for the next 2 weeks on a couple of her areas of expertise, one of them being LLCs this week, and then next week we're talking about food trucks. So that's like a little bit of a teaser to what's to come. On a personal note, she's also a mother of two. She's got two spoiled dogs, and we are just absolutely delighted to welcome Maria here. So she's going to do the presentation. As you think of questions, you can pop them in the chat or wait till the end, and then we'll have some discussion when she is done. And Maria, I will let you take it from there.
Thank you so much, Jenny. It is my pleasure to be here today presenting this very important information to all the attendees. And number one, please don't be afraid, okay? Ask anything that you have in your mind, anything that might be interesting for you, or maybe anything that I have missed. We are going to talk about one of the business entities more important in the business world. So please, I really want you to leave this workshop with information and with the support that you have to give yourself as an entrepreneur, okay? So here we go. All right, well, business associations. What is a business association? Just the word make us think on something big, on something very, full of probably offices or probably full of desks and chairs around. But what I gotta tell you is that even if you are a sole proprietorship of a business, you have a business association. Even if you have only set up a couple things in your house, preparing probably homemade cakes or jam or anything like that, you have a business association, even if it's not registered with the Secretary of State of your state. In this case here, I can show you that there are so many different kinds. We can have nonprofits, we can have business services organizations, we can have schools being as well a business association, we have entrepreneurs, we have depending on the service that you will be providing, depending on the characteristics of your organization, is how you will know that you have created a business association. As I have said, even if it's only you, yes, you are a business owner. As general information, let me tell you that this presentation and all the information that I'm going to provide to you do not substitute any advice or services of an attorney or a tax specialist. For that, please go look for the specialist of your own, or talk to an attorney or talk to the tax specialist that you already have for more specific information. And as I have said, this presentation, it's only for information purposes, okay? Once that I had give you this advice. Let me tell you something. So this is pretty much all the journey that I guess you have already gone through. You have done your business plan, you did your research, you know your products, you know your services, you know what is that value, specific value that brings the best on the products and services that you provide. You know what makes you the best out of the rest of the services that you can find here or anywhere. You have worked hard on your branding. You have worked hard on your marketing. Everybody knows about you. You are in all the areas of social media. You have already hired an accountant, or probably gone to set up some of the steps with the person that does your taxes for in order to have in control your finances. So if you have done all this, you are in the right path. Please tell yourself, give yourself an applause, and pretty much if you have done all of this, you are going towards success, which is the best thing to do in the business world. Now, let me talk about the applicable law. And there are some different laws depending on the state that your business is registered at. In general, what is applicable law for business, it is the common law cases, the Uniform Commercial Code known as the UCC, and depending if you sell services or if you sell goods, there is gonna be two different articles that they are gonna rule on the UCC. The TBOC, which is the Texas Business and Organization Code, this is only for Texas, okay? Depending on the state that your business is located at, you have to know what is the code that is going to apply for your LLC. We also have the DTPA, the Deceptive Trade Practices Act, the non-compete covenants, which is pretty much those agreements that do not allow you or allow your employees to take those practices that are very important for your business, to take them away or to share them after they leave you, or after you leave a company. You cannot take that kind of information, such as clientele, such as a formula, such as different practices that they are very, very essential to that kind of business. So normally, signing a non-compete agreement, it is the best idea to kind of have it in the back of your mind whenever that you open an LLC and just start your business going on. Also, the trade secrets and patents, that's a federal law that obviously is going to support and protect that kind of products that they have a very, very specific recipe, or that they have a very specific shape, like Coke. Everybody thinks that Coke has a trade secret and a patent on the flavor, and it's not. What is part of the patent is the shape of the bottle, the ribbon, and that's it. Not the flavor. So there are some kind of these interesting things to know. All right. So let's talk about, before getting into the LLC world, let's talk about the DBA, the sole proprietorship, and the general partnership. DBA, what is a DBA? Well, DBA is the acronym for doing business as. That's how people will know you while doing business. So my DBA, let's say it is Santi's Legacy. Okay, that's how I will be known in the commercial world as a business. That's my doing business as name. Okay, so sole proprietorship refers that it is for a single owner. I am the only person that runs my business, so that's how I am called, the sole proprietorship. When we're talking about a general partnership, we're talking that this is this involves more people, one or more people. What you are gonna be, it's a general partnership. It doesn't matter if you don't have an agreement. To create a general partnership, only the willing of the partners, only the activities of having that mindset of presenting a service or creating a product or selling a product for what? For an income, to obtain an income, that snaps immediately the burn of the general partnership. So be aware of this. How many times I've heard, I didn't sign anything. We didn't say that we were general partners. We wrote 1,000 times in a piece of paper, we are not partners. That doesn't work like that, okay? The actions, the day-by-day activities is what brings over to life a general partnership. My recommendation for you, it is, if you already have selected the DBA that you would like to get, go to the county clerk records office and pay, which is pretty much here in Texas is $24 only to get your DBA registered. And this will avoid that your name will be duplicated in another county. Listen, not state, county. So if I live in Dallas County, I go to the county clerk office in Dallas County, but it is very important that you remember that that name is going to be saved in Dallas County only. If there is another county, let's say Tarrant or Ellis, I have to go to each county to register my DBA if I want to protect it from everybody to take it and suffer a duplicate issue. Okay. Now, as a DBA, the earnings, el dinero, how are we going to pay to the IRS? That's very important. As a sole proprietorship or as a general partnership, everything that comes in regards of your business or activity of the business, it is, let's put it like this. It's like your personal income. It's like you have earned that money, not the business. Me, Maria Santi, I have earned this money. So Santi's legacy is not alive practically in front of the IRS, let's call it like that, if I do not notify the IRS that I have a business. However, if with my IT number or my social security number or my EIN number, I go and I prepare my tax declaration. The beauty of this is that I can say, okay, these are my personal earnings, and these are the earnings of the partnership. You might do that, yes, but you gotta be careful because sometimes there is something that happens very, very often. People start commingling the money, so you don't know exactly how much is your personal money and how much is from the company. And here comes the issues, because at the time that you have to go to the IRS or you have to declare how much you made during the year, you don't even know. So that will bring like a red alert on IRS saying, hey, you are earning too much money. What is going on here? So obviously what is going to happen is that sooner or later you will have to get an EIN and do the declaration of the business with you, or depending if you have a corporation, separated completely, and we will talk about it in a little bit, okay? So in regards of the bank account, there is very few financial organizations that they allow you to open a bank account with a general partnership. Normally what they do is to allow you to have this bank account with an LLC. But there are some banks, I repeat, that they have this opportunity for the general partnership. It's just a matter of look for that one that will be the best for you and your objectives. Unfortunately, in a general partnership, anything that happens with the business, anything, it is your responsibility. You and your partner are joint and several liable for anything that happens in the business. If you are only a general partnership. Let's say that Santi's legacy, what do we do? Okay, we prepare banquets, we prepare food. Unfortunately, there were a whole table in a quinceañera party that got food poisoning. What is gonna happen? I'm a general partner and my other partner, we are here like, okay, what is gonna happen? Well, unfortunately, we get sued. The person who is suing us has a chance to go direct with us and make us liable for what has happened. Yes, it gotta go first with whatever that is the property of the business, but also against us. So you don't want that. What you want to do is to have your business in order, and that's why DBAs are a little bit they don't give you protection. In fact, they don't give you protection. A lot of people stays with the DBA for years, many years, okay, and it's okay, it's not bad. But if you know that you have that kind of business that provides a service or a product that you know that you will be liable or that you need insurance, go ahead and open the LLC, because that will be the only one that is going to limit the liability on you and whoever is doing is in your organizations. Okay, remember that this association is not going to be, it doesn't need to be incorporated with the Secretary of the State. Okay, you do not need to create the agreement, you do not need to sign it, you do not need to do anything but just to act as a general partnership. Okay, so remember, two or more partners, and it could be one of them, the one that administrates the business. Remember, in this case, this is the partnership. I'm sorry, the partnership. Here you need two or more co-partners and the administrator. You need an agreement. Here, yes, you need an agreement. You need that formal indication of the activity that you are a partner. Okay, the activities show that there is that mindset, that there is that equal thinking of you and your partner. What are you doing in regards of the activity, for what? To get money, to obtain an income. So pretty much that is going to comply with the mindset of the partners. Here in Texas, the TBOC regulates what is not in an agreement. So normally what happens is that whenever that the partnership is born, and for some reason in the agreement you forgot some clauses, or you forgot some articles, do not worry. The TBOC is gonna kind of cover up that part, but don't think that it's gonna cover everything. Okay, in a partnership, obviously we have we can have two kind of people involved in this partnership. We have the partners and we have the investors. An investor is the person that probably put money into the partnership, and he is going to wait for the business to start for him to get his money back, and also probably a part of the revenue, but from the money that he put into the partnership, not a revenue of the business. At the time that you get a revenue of the business and that you agree on the losses of the business, you are automatically a partner. Okay, so that's very important. Here, the agency representation, agency refers to the capacity that every person has in the partnership to take decisions on behalf, or unfortunately not in the best not in the best conditions for the partnership. So this could get you to create liability for the different activities and representation of the partners. Let's say that I did not send my partner to go to Sam's Club to get the milk that we use for the quinceañera that we work at, and that the people got sick. Okay, it doesn't matter. he was acting with the representation, with the figure of that representation that the agency and the partnerships provide to him. So that's something that you gotta be very careful if you have people working for you in a partnership and that they think that they have your okay to do a lot of activities. And also you will have to be careful of the people that think, a third party that thinks that this person that works for you can do different things in regards of management or taking care of decision. That's something very important. In regards of liability, let me tell you that here we are still liable. Here we are still personally liable. So we do not have that shield yet because we are still a partnership, okay? All the property of the partnership, it is presumed to be of the partnership. It's not Maria's, it's not, I don't know, it's not Jenny's, it's from the partnership, okay? It's not individually here. I cannot use that property of the partnership to, let's say that if there is a car from the partnership, I cannot take that car on vacation. I cannot use the funds of the partnership. That's completely separated from what I have as a person, okay? At the time that we decide to transfer the property that we have in the partnership, can you do that? Yes, you can. But what you cannot transfer is the ability to manage that association. So let's say Jenny and I, we opened this partnership. We opened Santi's Legacy, right? So I don't want to have business anymore. I don't want nothing to do with Jenny anymore. I can sell my part of the partnership to my sister. Yes, I can. And she can get all the earnings and she can get all the money that is coming from the activities, but also she is responsible for the debt, right? But what is going to happen that I cannot sell the part of the management. My sister cannot take decisions, cannot manage the partnership. That's something very important in this entity. Okay, now let's get ready. We talk about DBAs. We know what it's a general partnership. We know what it's a partnership. Now let's talk about the LLC. An LLC, it's a limited liability company. It's not a corporation, please. It's not a corporation, okay? It's not a partnership. Forget about the partnership, that's past, but it's not a corporation. That's a step beyond. The LLC, it's like an in-between organization that was created when the state saw that business owners needed to be a little bit more protected than the partnership, but they didn't want to have all the obligations or to have too much to do with finances and IRS like the corporation. So they created the LLC. Okay, so the LLC here in Texas, it is regulated by the Title III, Chapter 101. And pretty much what we are going to learn today, it is about the certificate of formation, okay? The certificate of formation, it is that document that tells you that you are, that you have created or that you are the member of an LLC or that this is the LLC, Santi's Legacy LLC. Now we are a different entity. Jenny and I, we are not partners anymore. We are members, okay? Our name has changed. Now we are members. And the beauty of all this is that we are not personally, jointly liable to no one anymore because of the business activity, okay? So now what we are going to do, it is to feel free a little bit if somebody gets you know, food poison during the banquets that we're gonna serve, because now the responsible, it is the LLC, it's not us. Okay, now the taxes, how do we pay taxes? Okay, you pay taxes as an association. You can also use the go through form. That's a term that the accounting people uses to pay the taxes of your LLC through your same tax declaration. Okay, you don't need to pay the LLC taxes here and then Maria Santi's taxes here. You can put them together in a go through declaration and pay both taxes at the same time in the same declaration. So this is something that as I have said, your tax specialist knows more about it. Here in Texas, it is controlled by the TBOC. And one thing that we have in the LLC is that now we have a manager. We have an administrator or we have a manager, either or, okay? Here is very important to know that it's not the decision of Maria, it's not Jenny's decision what it's gonna rule the organization. Here we need now, depending on the number of members, we need to vote for any decision, administrative decision that we're gonna take during the time of activities of the LLC. And we need a quorum. We need what is called a minimum of certain number of people to take that decision, because probably there will be more people that is not going to be, you know, that is, it's not going to be okay with the decision that we will be about to take. As I have said, the tax option is very good. The IRS is very noble with the LLC, with the limited liability company. And the most important thing here is sometimes it's more like, okay, do I need an LLC or not? Okay, this is very important. It's okay if you have your DBA. I repeat, it doesn't matter if you do a little bit of money and you only have a DBA. Remember that whenever that you make a lot of money with the DBA and that's on your tax records, the IRS is gonna light up a red light on you and say, hey, where are all this money coming from? Okay. Number two, you are personally liable with a DBA. With an LLC, you are not. You are shielded. And also, you can pay with the IRS with the beautiful tax option of going of the go through that I've been telling you about. So that's when you need an LLC. Sometimes people think, okay, then do I have to open the LLC right away? Maybe not, okay? You have to talk to your attorney, you have to talk to your accounting and your accountant, and depending on the analysis, depending on their advice that they have for you in your case, every single case is very specific. An LLC is not a one size fits all, okay? You gotta be careful on that. So once that you have decided that the LLC is for you, go ahead and open it. You might open it from day one, okay? If you don't make money on day one, don't worry. Just, you're gonna declare that you didn't make money, zero, and that's it. But all that you have to talk to your accounting person. The certificate of formation here in Texas is the Form 205. It has 4 articles and the supplemental information. The Article 1 talks about the entity name and type. Pretty much it's gonna be what name does your company have, and what are the services that you will be providing. Obviously, it's gotta be in Texas in this case. And in regards of the article 2, you have to have an office and an agent here in the state of Texas necessarily in order to go ahead and get your certificate of formation from the Secretary of the State, okay? In this case, sometimes, let's say that there is a foreign entity. What is a foreign entity? Anything out of Texas, not only foreign as in Mexico, as in Canada, as in Spain, no, no, no. Anything out in Texas, it is considered a foreign entity. So you have to name an agent and have a registered office in Texas in order to get your LLC registered at the here in this state. Okay. So now, the article 3 refers of all the governing authority. What is this? Well, here is where you're gonna mention what is the if the LLC is going to have a manager, or if the LLC is going to have only members, or if the any kind of management situation that you might have in your LLC and in your articles. Here in the article number 3 is where you will let know the Secretary of State about, okay? Any document that you file with the Secretary of State is a public record, anything. So please keep in mind that if the registered agent, if the registered office, if the authorities that you have in the certificate of formation, they are not real, you are committing a crime. So please be aware and don't do this. Don't give this information as a false information to the Secretary of State. Okay. Now, Article 4, it is about the purpose. It is about what is the purpose of what is this LLC for? You can open an LLC for anything that is lawful. Okay, anything that is not prohibited in the criminal code as an activity that is not lawful. Okay, so in this Article 4, you might be required to provide more information, which is the supplemental information. And this is only when your LLC has more specific purpose or purposes, okay? This Form 205 is for an LLC, a limited liability company for profit. We are not talking about non-profits, okay? So don't get confused. Sometimes people think that they have to fill out the same form for a non-profit. That is completely another entity, and we are not talking about non-profits today, okay? So what the Secretary of State asks you is just to add the 3 letters at the end of your name. Santi's Legacy LLC. That's my LLC name. It's not only Santi's Legacy. No, it's LLC. I have to have the 3 letters at the end, or the limited liability company at the end, with the rest of my name. Okay. Now, normally what is going to happen is that if we provide in that supplemental information how is going to be how my governing authority or anything else of the LLC is going to be taken over, remember that anything that you provide on that supplemental information, it cannot be changed during 90 days. It takes 90 days to the Secretary of State to tell you yes or to tell you no. I cannot give you I cannot have you as an LLC. Remember that the Secretary of State has time for that. It's not something that you submit online and that's it. You have to wait for a period of time for the Secretary of State to read your application. Remember that this is applicable in Texas, depending on the state that you live at. Everything or some of it might change. Go please and check with your state code and also with the Secretary of the State of the state where you live at to see more information about how to form this LLC. Okay. So what do we find in that certificate of formation in general? It is the name of the office and the agent in Texas, the operative agreement, which is very important because sometimes what we do is just to follow up like a file that we find or we don't do it. And sometimes it happens that you are agreeing to follow some articles and rules that they are not even applicable to the things that you are doing. Okay, sometimes what you need to do it is to really I mean, not sometimes, I think that it's important for you to have an operative agreement that you know what it says, that you know what is the organization of it, what will be the effectiveness of it at the time that it conforms your LLC. The LLC, of course, is gonna have the name of the members, the name of the contributions, the percentage of the contribution, which are called shares. We will know if we have general partners, if we have limited liability partners, or if everybody is a member. Be careful with this. An LLC can have general partners, yes. Who are liable? The general partners, not the members. If the LLC has general partners and also has limited liability partners, who are liable? Only the general partners. Yes, it can allow you to balance or to have these two different organizations in the same one. Okay, it is not something that you cannot do. There are corporations that also are part of LLCs and vice versa. Okay, so in that certificate of formation, what we will find as well, it's all the rights of each partners and also the way that the company is going to be managed. Finally, before I start, before we go see the Form 205 and we will see how to fill it out, let me tell you that the corporations in general, it's like we went from DBAs, general partnerships, LLCs, and corporations, right? That's the huge one, the corporation. Everybody loves the word corporation. I want to have a corporation. It sounds fancy, but it's the entity that requires the most time of you and the most care and duties for your business. In general, corporations have to have an office and agent in Texas. It has to have an operative agreement, but also bylaws, okay, which is a little bit more complicated than just an operative agreement. Here, we changed to shareholders. We don't have members anymore. We have shareholders, and we have a board of directors. The board of directors is who leads the corporation. The shareholders do not manage the corporation. So it's like the board and the shareholders. The shareholders decide who is in the board, but they do not decide and manage the corporation, okay? The duty of the board of directors is very specific. They have to make business decisions on behalf of the corporations, and they have different duties to the corporation, such as duty of loyalty, duty of care. Duty of loyalty, pretty much it is that you are not going to take away anything from the corporation. You're not going to steal a deal. You're not going to self-deal. You are not going to use anything from the corporation, not prevailing, that it's gonna have a good revenue. The duty of care refers that you as a prudent person, you're gonna, as a board of directors and as a prudent person, you're gonna take wise decisions on behalf of the corporation. Being board of directors is something that everybody likes and wants to have in a resume, but it's not just a thing. It is a very, very difficult position that if you don't take care of it, if you don't provide the best of you, what is going to happen? You might be liable. Remember, we said that nobody's liable, right? In the corporation, no shareholder, no board of director is personally liable. But if there is something that could be found, if there is an activity that a shareholder can found that the board of director did on its own behalf affecting the corporation, there is a thing called the purse of bail, in which we ask a judge to analyze the situation that was wrong, the activity that was wrong, and if the board of director did wrong, what is going to happen? He's going to be personal liable. Okay, so that's something interesting, and it's brought over through a derivative suit, which is another kind of things. But I wanted to give you a general portrait of what a corporation is. Okay, here, one more time, we don't have shares anymore. What do we have are stocks, depending on the kind of stocks. We have common stocks, outstanding, preferred, and we also might be part of another corporation if there is a merge, or we can be part of a different corporation, but not losing our identity if we do a venture. There are so many things that can be done in a corporation. And yes, as a corporation, you pay double taxation. Listen, corporation is, let's say, Santi's Legacy Incorporated corporation. Okay, so I pay my taxes as a corporation, right? Then the corporation pays me. So now I gotta pay my taxes as an employee of the corporation and also the taxes of the corporation. That's the situation of the double taxation. You pay as corporation, but also of the money that the corporation is giving to you. How can I avoid that? Easy. Open an S corp. Go see your finance, your accountant, and ask him about an S corp. An S corp is gonna give you the opportunity of the go through the go through path, and this way you are not gonna pay double taxation. However, if your organization is going to be an international corporation, corporation that does business internationally, be sure to confirm the right corporation, because there's the C corporation and the S corporation, and one of them do not allow you to have business internationally. So please be aware of this. Where do I find the Form 205 for my LLC in Texas? Okay, this is the website, www.sos.state.tx.us, the Texas Secretary of State. How much does it cost? $300. That's it. Be aware that normally people who does this for living, which is okay, which is all the business services person, they might charge you more because it is their job, of course, and they know which button to press normally, right? But if you are okay understanding all the forms and you are sure of what you're answering, don't worry. It's very simple. Just submit your form that can be mailed or you can send it by fax, or you can take it in person. There is the office, there is the fax number, there is the PO box, and just go ahead and take your money order for $300, or go ahead and do a personal check, or if you are going to do it in by fax, what you can also write down, it is the information of your credit card, or the website of the Texas Secretary of State gives you the opportunity now to open an account, which is called, I think, Direct. That's the name of the account, which is, now that you have the account, you create a profile, you submit your information, your credit card information, of course, you fill out the form, and then you can pay online, and that's it. Okay, remember that you might get a response in no more than 90 days. At the time that you receive the response is when the LLC has gone. Okay. So this is the Form 205 for the state of Texas, the Certificate of Formation Limited Liability Company. This is the article number 1 that I talked about, which is the entity's name and type. Here you have to type and answer the question. Remember that you have to add the words limited liability company, limited company, or the abbreviation of it, which is LLC or LC. The agent in Article 2, you are going to fill out whichever applies to you, okay? The address. Article 3 in regards of the governing authority, you have to select whichever applies to you. If you have a manager, if you do not have a manager. Let's say that you have a manager. Okay, what is the name of the governing person? Or if it's an organization, remember that I told you that you can also have an organization. What is the organization, the address, the state, and so on and so on. You might fill out this with let me go back. With probably 3 or more. The purpose of is on Article 4, and any supplemental provisions or information goes here. Okay. Who's the organizer? The effectiveness of billing. Okay. Remember, the document becomes effective at a later date, which is no more than 90 days from the date of signing. Okay, you might choose a delayed effective date. Yes, you can. Okay, but remember that you always have to be accurate on the time that you are going to select. Okay, and you have to describe how will this how this cost is going to change, or how is it going to be beneficial for its execution. Finally, you write down the date you are signing this, and referring that you are subject to penalties in case that you are filling out this document with false or fraudulent information. Okay, you sign here, you print your name here, and that's it. And remember, you have to pay $300, and you submit this in duplicate to this address, and that's it. It's not rocket science. We can do this, okay? Also, something that is very, very important. Once that you have set up your LLC, please get insurance if you need it, okay? I'll say everybody needs it. Please do it. So this way your company is protected, and also your profits. We work very hard for our, not only the constitution of the LLC, but to provide our services. So please get an insurance. It's not that expensive, believe me. If you clean houses and you have your LLC, what if you break the new 4K 85 inches television, and unfortunately you have to pay for it? Okay, go get a general insurance, get a property insurance, get a civil liability, vehicle insurance in case that you have to travel, in case that you have people that it's gonna probably use a painting ban or something like that. Remember that in Texas, the workers' compensation is not something that you have to provide to your employees, but some states it might change. Be aware of looking at the codes of your own state. Health insurance, life insurance, all these kind of insurances. Sometimes we think that it's going to be very expensive for our business, but once that we know that we have to protect our business, this got to be in the list of the to-dos. And same way as you open your LLC, this is going to be the second thing to be thinking about. These are some of our members here at the Chamber of Commerce who provide business services. We have business coaching, business insurance, marketing, taxes, marketing products, and also attorneys. So in case that you would like to get a more one-on-one consultation, or in case that you are in the need of some of these products, please please contact them directly, and they will be very glad to provide you any service. Well, thank you so much for your attention. My email address, I think, is going to be shared on the chat. Please feel free to email me or to call me with any question that you might have. It's been a pleasure doing this presentation for you, and now I'm open to any question.
All right, Maria, we have 7-8 minutes and lots of questions. So we're going to go really quickly, rapid fire. If you sent in a question, I got it, and I'm combining some of them just for time. First of all, what's TBOC?
Texas Business Organizations Code.
Another question that came in, how many titles can the individual hold in the LLC? So for example, can the one officer/member be the registered agent?
You can be in an LLC, I'm sorry?
Yes.
You can be or the manager or the member, or it could be if everybody is going to be the member, then you have to say which member is going to be the governing authority.
Okay. I'm also getting some questions from other states. People are watching from all over the country. So for example, like in California, do you happen to know how often you need to update the statement of information on the LLC?
Not in California. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay.
State, as I have said, it's very specific.
So when you're talking about agent and registered office, can that be myself and my address, or does that have to be a separate person, separate office?
No, you gotta find for another agent and another registered office.
Okay, and then if you have an LLC, if you have an LLC or a corporation, can you still have DBAs within those?
Yes, yes, you can. And that's the most accurate thing to do. Let me tell you why. Once that you open the LLC and you are this big umbrella, and then you have 4 DBAs, they not necessarily have to be related to the mom LLC. They can be of different business activities, but once that they come from the LLC, this gets protected, because at the end of the day, the person is doing business with the LLC, not with the DBAs. But if you don't have an LLC and you are only as a DBA, you are not protected.
Understood. What about other states? So for example, is there a general website people can go to nationwide, or are all LLCs state by state?
Oh, I'll say just type Secretary of State, and obviously Google or any kind of browser is very smart to send you right straight away to the place that you are at, to the state that you are at. So that's pretty much the information.
Okay, so it's always the state. There's not just like a general United States LLC site or something like that you
No,
go to.
no. It's not a federal situation. It is go to the state. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Now, another one that was sort of, I don't know, along similar lines here. What are the steps? And I know you did go through this, but they're wondering if somebody's thinking, okay, corporation. I know corporation is it after looking at all these different options. What's the first step with doing that? And is there a certain site everybody should go to get started on that process once they've decided corporation is the way they need to go?
So what is the first step to open a corporation?
Yes, they
Is that
already
correct?
have an LLC and they've had an LLC for 4 years and they're ready
Same
to move to that.
same thing. Fill out, fill up a certificate of formation for your corporation and go to the Secretary of State. Let's say, I don't know, I don't want to say California. Go to the Secretary of State in California, and you will find the form for a corporation. Same thing as an LLC. The only situation that is changing is that you don't want to start as an LLC. You just want to give the huge step. It's very easy. It's not difficult, but be aware that at the time that you fill out that form, you will have to know who's gonna be your members, what are gonna be the shares, the shareholders, who's gonna be your board of directors, all the stocks that you are going to open at the time that the corporation is going to be born. You will have to have more information for that. My recommendation is for a corporation, please look for advice of your attorney or your accountant. An LLC is more easy to open, but for a corporation is different.
Very helpful. Okay, last question, unless anybody has something else they want to send to me, is how long does it usually take for the process of somebody deciding, I want to open a business to them go through this process of say they're going to do LLC, like idea to being able to legally conduct business? Is there an average amount of time?
The journey of the entrepreneur is a long run. It's not a short one. But let's say that you have everything set up, and from the time that you think about it, that you think about the idea and to the time that you open your business, probably it's gonna happen, I don't know, 1 or 2 years. At the time that you open the DBA takes 5 minutes if you go to the county clerk, well, 10. If you set up your LLC, that is gonna take you the 90 days of waiting plus, I don't know, 2 or 3. But that's in the best conditions. Remember that as an entrepreneur, we deal with a lot of things. Setting up the LLC or the corporation or the DBA, they are kind of the cherry on top of the cake, but it's a must. Don't stay just only in the entrepreneurship land. Put that cherry on top of the cake, because on this land, remember that you are not protected. But it can take you less than 2 years, who knows? But as in process, no more than 3 months.
Understood. Okay, that's really helpful. And finally, we'll wrap up with this. Is an LLC really necessary?
Yes and no. I repeat, if the kind of service that you provide does not phase you to liability from day one, okay, stay with your DBA. Make money with your DBA. Let's say you're making $30,000 with your DBA, $40,000 with your DBA. There is not an amount of money, right, that will tell you, hey, go open a DBA. We don't know. IRS is not an open book. So it might be that at the first $20,000 that you are making with your DBA, the IRS sets off that red light that I am telling you about, and you will have to tell them why you're getting that money in your account, right? But if you are, I don't know, a masseuse, and then you want to open this great spa. You know, women, we are difficult, so we want everything done fine, right? And let's say that because you are in touch with physical situations, you don't have an LLC. If something happens, that is the kind of service that I'm saying it will face you with liability. If you do not have an LLC, be careful, because if I get burned, if I get something tweaked, obviously I'm gonna set you up liable for that, and I might sue you, you know? So be careful.
Very, very helpful. Maria Santi, you have been incredible. I hope I can speak for everybody when I say I am thankful you went to law school so that you could help educate us and so that you've gotten these advanced degrees. So thank you sincerely for all the information that you shared with us today. It was just a wealth of knowledge for everybody. I did put her email in the chat, Maria at grandprairiechamber.org is the contact, and then you saw the other information for her as well. So this has been a lot of fun, you guys. And guess what? We are going to do it again next week, same time, same place, all virtually and with Maria. And she's going to be focusing on mobile restaurants, aka food trucks, and it is really is quite the process. It's a really popular topic, so she has superior knowledge in this area, and she's going to share it with all of us, which I'm looking forward to. So don't forget, there is always a replay of this, which Sarah provides online. So if there's something that you're wanting to look back at and get the replay, you can go to Sarah's YouTube channel for that. And again, on behalf of everybody here, we look forward to seeing you next week, and we'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.